Uh, Dan is a perfectionist, which is why the promos have been excellent. Nothing short of excellent.
Thank you.
I only wish Dan thought the same of me. Which brings me to my opening monologue. I am a ne'er-do-well. I'm a loser. There's a lot you could put on paper. If you put my positives and negatives like that, the best Ralph Cramden thing ever on the Honeymooners. When he's nervous that he's a failure at 40 because he makes $62 a week driving a bus, and his best friend works in the sewer and makes more money than him. Well, guess what? You are a failure. Yes, that would be a failure. But he looks wonderful every day in that uniform. I don't know how he gets his fat ass in that uniform every day. Every show he's in that uniform. I can't put a uniform on. I can barely. You know how I look? Like every time, I always look homeless. The people send me YouTube clips of me on Howard, and the people are very nice as far as like the funny part of it. Especially since Howard's been in the news lately because no one knows what's going on. There might be contract negotiations. Look, he's got a point. I mean, the guy makes $105 million a year. He's got to eat. The man's got to eat. He wants more money. But here's the thing. Here's Howard's point. They're billionaires too. So if two billionaires are fighting, why not? Why should I let them have more billions? It's not like they're poor and I'm stealing from them. The point is he feels they misinterpreted the deal. Think of this. Like, lawyers labored over this contract. I mean, the first contract that Don Buchwald negotiated for Howard, that series, should be in the Smithsonian. Yeah. It should be framed in the Smithsonian. It's again, you know what? I'm going to make sure I tell this story because this might be our last podcast. It's certainly one of our last 10 podcasts. We have to stop the podcast. And it's because of several things, not the least of which I'm not that big of a deal. I mean, let's just face it. I am not relevant anymore. I'm a elephant, according to some of the very funny listeners. I love when you tweet a joke and it's supposed to be corny. Like recently, I tweeted a joke where I said I sent some jokes into Colbert, and apparently he's allergic to Emmys. I said I don't want to say Bill O'Reilly stinks, but his initials are B.O. I sent them in, and it's been a week. I have no offer. I don't want to say Bill Maher's a piece of shit, but his initials are B.M. And there's some guys who go, dude, that sucks. B.O., that's like hacky. I mean, Colbert's like an intellectual political guy. He would never do that. I know. That's the joke. That's the joke. I also sent them into Uncle Floyd to make him back. And there's interest, so fuck off. I said, yeah, he's allergic to Emmys. It's called irony. And by the way, this Eric Bowles guy, I'm obsessed with Fox News. It is just wonderful. It's like a big cartoon. Roger Ailes died today. I used the B.O. Bill O'Reilly thing again. And what I think is a better joke, because I noticed that Sean Hannity calls Roger Ailes R.A. And he said, R.A., rest in peace. And then I said, Bill O'Reilly sent him a note saying, when people meet you, R.A., they always say, and I'm proud of this, that I'm the biggest part of you. And when they meet you, they're reminded of nothing but me. B.O. That was, meant to, I don't know, get a laugh. But it is fun on Twitter. That's taking a page from Colin Quinn. Colin Quinn would bait people and say those corny jokes, and they would yell at him. And it's just so funny. But yeah, they're like, dude, yeah, I guess you're as smart as Stephen Colbert. I think I am. I don't know. Certainly, I mean, listen, his Trump jokes are not exactly, William Faulkner-esque. When he got into trouble last week for making the crude jokes, he said that Trump offended my friend. That Trump threw that guy out of the Oval Office, and he had every right to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Trump throw his friend out of the Oval Office.
Not well. You don't have to know because it's Colbert's friend, but when Trump said that guy, I've had enough talking about the wall or whatever.
Yes.
Or climate change, whatever it
was.
The
media person.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wasn't a gardener. It was a media person. I guess he's a CNBC guy or something. It's Colbert's friend, blah, blah, blah. And who knew it was Colbert's friend? But Colbert went on that real awful rant on Trump that everybody was talking about because of that, supposedly. He goes, you made fun of my friend. And he was supposed to apologize. He never really apologized. And, all the Republicans are saying, people have no respect for the president, even though it's Trump. You should have. And that's very right. But, Republicans did the same thing with Obama. That's when it started. And Bill Maher used to point that out. I mean, he's only the president. Respect the office. And what a hypocrite that jerk-off is. What about respect to the office now? He basically said that Ivanka jerks him off every night.
I know.
Yeah, Ivanka is not Bijou Phillips. What's the one? What's the one who fucked their father?
Michelle Phillips.
No. Margot Hemingway? No.
Oh, Phillips.
Papa John's oldest daughter, the one that was on One Day at a Time.
Yes.
Anyway, we don't need her name. Who cares? We know who it is.
Yeah.
She wrote a book and said that she was in a romantic relationship
Yes.
at the age of 15 or whatever with Papa John Phillips, who was really her papa. Papa! I think she became Fredo in The Godfather when they were having sex. That's what Papa John made her yell out. During sex, she made her become Fredo and yell that out. Come on, baby. You like the way I do that? You're like, Papa! Oh, God. I used to Godfather was on
Mackenzie.
recently. Mackenzie Phillips, thank you. It's like you had Papa John Phillips' children, Tourette's. Cunt fuck Mackenzie, shut Bijou. And she's Michelle Phillips is her mom. No, Michelle Phillips, not her mother.
No, right.
She got the ugly
Right.
mother. Bijou has Michelle Phillips.
Yes.
She got the good-looking mother.
Yes.
She got the second mom. I'm Norm's half brother in Dirty Work and in the Norm Show. A lot of hardcore fans know that. And I forgot it, but Norm has a funny line in both. He goes, he says to me, "You're just angry because I got the skinny mother." That's hilarious. I might be on the Norm podcast.
Yes, he asked for you to be on.
Yeah, we have now blown off each other's
Yes.
bio. Norm is astonishing. I mean, you really have to. I mean, look, he's older than me, and that's one thing. He's insanely funnier and smarter, and a guy that. You get funnier in this business. You hang out with funny people, and you have some humility. You say, "Look, these people are funnier than me," and that's what was true with Dirty Work. Dirty Work was like a comedy college. And a new person came up every week that I love: Sandler, Farley, Jack Warden. Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase did shit in that movie that got cut out. It was so fucking funny. Oh my God! But Bobby Simons, who was the producer, he was a little bit more like we want bright colors and fast. But I love Bobby because listen, he's a great producer. Produced Happy Gilmore and The Wedding Singer, and Billy Madison. Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison, they were made for guys, and I love those fucking movies. And so he had made those movies, and so as a producer, I respected him. He was a modern comedy success. And he knew that formula, so I learned from him. Freddie Wolf and Frank Sebastiano. Freddie was the amazing head writer of SNL for a while, and Fred Wolf had a great joke, and I'm going to botch this. He did a Weekend Update set piece once that was part of his stand-up when he did stand-up. He lived with a whore for a while, Fred. I don't think he dated a hooker. A lot of Fred was a rock and roll guy, and long hair, even into his 40s. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, of course, affecting him. Almost cut my hair. And almost got a liver. Imagine David Crosby got a liver. A third world country woman who was a mother of 18 is dead.
Oh, God.
So Crosby could tour and sing Sweet Judy Blue Eyes a couple more times for money. How many third world women have died for Keith Richards?
Yeah.
For Keith Richards to continue to play Jumpin' Jack Flash, which I am
Worth
telling
it.
Absolutely. I'm telling you right now, he has not touched a guitar that is plugged in since, I'm going to say, the Tattoo You tour. Look at him. He doesn't touch the guitar. Look at him. Ronnie Wood stands behind him, making sure, and he plays everything. He plays everything. Keith Richards is there for, it's because it's Keith Richards. And it's still great, but he hasn't touched the guitar. That's on. I point to the Scorsese documentary, Shine a Light, when they do the slow song. Come on, Dan, help me out here. With the kids. I see the children play as tears go by.
Yeah.
How could you not know that? How could you be? You're like a huge Stone fan, right?
Yes.
How could you not know as tears go by? I don't think Dan is. I'm finding out Dan is not as big a fan. You're either not as smart as me, which isn't the truth.
I'm not.
But
as
I think it
smart
is.
as you.
No, I think we're about even. There's things I like. You know about. I'm telling you right now, Dan. You could sit and try to teach me how to send an email for 4 days. A guy did it. Jeff Schick from IBM, the head of Howard's computer team. I like IBM. I love you, but that sports book or whatever it's called, a handbook, their laptop,
Yes.
is archaic compared to that Apple thing.
Right.
It was like a fucking thing out of a Moonraker, like that Dr. Drac. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Drac. I've created the perfect race from the tulip in Amsterdam that nobody picked, yet I picked to create you, perfect human beings. We're going to the planet Spore, where you'll be issued orange jumpsuits. Although you look like prisoners in LA County, there won't be a black person among you. If you see a black person, you'll be issued a gun, a laser, that's called Moon Cricket Be Good Stick.
Oh, God.
This is Moonraker, not Moon Cricket. I know I have a beer gut and an ugly goatee, but I'm the only English accented actor that can do this part. We tried to have Lou Ferrigno do it. The Broccoli brothers interviewed him as a joke. We wanted to see if he could do this part. Then we actually, as a better joke, see if we could replace Roger Moore with Lou Ferrigno. I'm going to show you for the last time something about humor. There will be no laughing after I show you this. This is Lou Ferrigno's screen test to become the broccoli pick for 007. Go right ahead. 007, come in, you're late. What are you saying, 007? Yeah. Why is there green paint behind your ear? Are you playing the Hulk for CBS? Yeah. Why can't you say anything? B. You're not going to work. The screen test is over. I'm playing Q for the last time. Tell Roger Moore he's still got the job. His call time is 7 a.m. on Tuesday. This is you. We'll give send Lou back in. We're going to see if he can play Dr. Drac. Okay, Dr. Drac, and you're going to kill James Bond and the hot chick. Go. You sound exactly like you did before. Change your accent. You've smudged the green paint. It's now on your face. Say goodbye, Mr. Bond. You sound like a smoke alarm. Tell the actor playing Dr. Drac, whose name escapes me, he's still got the job. His call time is 6 a.m. Yes. As you see, we can have humor here. I'd like you to wrap up your giggling, and for the last time, you'll be allowed to laugh. Anyone caught laughing after this date will be killed. It'll be drawn and quartered in the town square, in the capital of the planet Spore, which is Spore City. Does anyone think they will forget the capital of Spore? Does anyone here think that they'll forget that the capital of the planet Spore is Spore City? Why is your hand up, Abernathy? Sir, as you know, I'm good at lifting weights. I don't really crack the books. Yes. Are you telling me, Abernathy, that the capital of Spore being Spore City is something that will escape you, possibly in the future. Maybe. Abernathy, do you mind standing on that big X? Yeah, where? The big X right there. Okay, all right, fine, yeah. Yeah, why? Well, it's going to open up a door and you're going to fall into a school. A school that teaches you how to memorize. In this case, memorizing that the capital of Spore is Spore City. Really, a school? Yeah, it's a wonderful school. Okay, all right. Here comes the door. It's going to open up. You lied to him. You lied to him. I'm his date. Mrs. Abernathy? Yes. You lied to him. It was a school. Yeah, a school of sharks. Yes. I'm giggling inside. That's the last time I'll make a joke. But he's been ripped apart by now. Cost me a uniform. He'll get another uniform. Get her another partner. Would you want to request any particular looks physically for your partner? Mentally, I suggest that you get someone who can memorize Spore City. You might have to sacrifice some looks. Do we have any blacks? You'd like a black partner? Yes. Could you stand on that X? What's down there? A school. A school that teaches you that white people are better than black people. As you know, I'm trying to make the perfect race. We don't need any mulatto bullshit. Oh, look, it's 007. I prefer Lou Ferrigno play this part. All right. You young people on Google, Lou Ferrigno's deaf. But he also was way better at talking than I just... That was an exaggeration. A bad exaggeration. Spore. I love saying that. The guy, do you remember the guy who played Dr. Drax?
Yes.
Yes. That was the James Bond that was out when I was like 12 years old. The one we snuck in to see, and like Roger Moore, and he seems like an idiot now.
Yes, he does.
He did not age properly. He's in that movie I did with Horatio Sands and Will Ferrell. He's in Boat Trip. Yeah, he was waiting. He was when I left Cologne, Germany, where I shot it. They were leaving to go on a cruise. They were to shoot on a cruise in the Greek islands. And Roger Moore had got there that day just to rehearse. They were leaving the next day. And, oh, my God. His face looked like... I'm trying to describe his face. His face looked like a Goodyear radial.
Oh, God.
That rolled over, I don't know, sheet metal. Jesus, did that guy hit the booze. But he was cool. How do you the smoking hot chick in Moonraker? No, For Your Eyes Only. For Your Eyes Only. He smoking hot like the Indian chick. That was the last movie with Jaws, I think. Richard Kiel. And he's a Moonraker. Richard Kiel. Remember, he falls in love with the little girl.
Yes.
And
yes.
we're supposed to believe that. He bites off. They're on this big thing that looks like the Death Star in Star Wars, and that's what's going to take them to the planet Spore. And they're going to get away. Roger Moore, as 007, has won. They're getting away, and he's with the hot chick, and of course he's about to fuck the hot chick. And of course Q and everybody's going to see him fucking the hot chick. We're getting 007. Why do they fall for it every time? Why do they put the camera on every time in front of the Parliament? We're getting a signal from 007. He says he just saved the planet Spore. And he's with Agent Davenport. Is Agent Davenport a woman? Yes, they're together. Okay, great. Go ahead. I'm definitely secure in the fact that we can show this to Parliament. There's no way he'll be fucking her. There's no way we'll be burned again. And 007, as we put it on live to all of Parliament, who apparently are all people who look like Roger Ailes with cigars. Yeah, just put it on. And it's always him fucking the chick. And they're floating. But before they can get out, it's stuck. There's a piece of metal that's blocking them from getting out. And Jaws is on the good side now. And Roger Moore says, what are we going to do? And Jaws walks over and bites the Yeah, it's the worst ending for a 007 movie ever. If you compare it to Spectre, not good. I don't think Daniel Craig would tolerate the planet Spore.
No.
You know?
No.
No. I don't think you tolerate the planet Spore. And, you know, if it's just... Could you imagine if it's just 007 and Jaws and he's horny and he gets a blowjob from Jaws?
Oh, God.
No teeth. No teeth, bitch. He bites off the piping and they get away. And then he fucks her. She wasn't that hot either for her. I don't know. The chicks now are hotter. Denise Richards was Denise Richards and Pierce Brosnan. I mean, come on. Not working. Not working for me. Spore. So he says R.A. Sean Hannity calls him R.A. And Sean Hannity is so on his soapbox. Oh my God, those guys! That guy. What's the guy's name? Dan, you were right in what you said about him. Bill Hemmer.
Hemmer. Yeah.
Oh, the guy is like it's like he's doing an audition tape for the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yes.
That's how amateur and hacky his pauses are.
Yeah.
For Fox News. Now, and then he throws it to the girls. They're talking about Roger Ailes. And at one point, like, everything they say sounds stupid because of what just happened. The one woman, oh my God, Dan, the Fox Friends, the Paula Dean, the chef, the woman chef who said nigger.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah, right.
She's not the only one. But
Yeah.
I'm sure De Laurentiis says it during sex.
Oh, no.
But didn't Paula Dean say, like, we're making nigger feet? My daddy said this ain't racist. It's just what they call it. Like nigger chasers with the M80s up on Canal Street. Colored kids sell. They know. They're fine with it. What you going to call it? That's what it is. So we're making pastries shaped like nigger feet. We're making Jew horns. These are look just like the horns that come out of a Jew's head. And you know they have them. My daddy played with Hank Greenberg. Said he had them. Sandy Koufax said he had them. Used to polish them up before a game. Yeah.
I got to say something real quick. One of my favorite voices that you do is Ken Cole. And when the Paula Dean thing went down, he called me. And he's like, listen, what do you think Artie's going to say about this Paula Dean thing?
Really? Oh, my God. Did he really?
Yes.
Dan Ken Cole. Listen, I love a good racist joke. You ask anybody I've produced. You ask anybody. I can adjust. I can assimilate to any type of person in any place. I had a gal in Birmingham. She was known as a racist. I called her Ku Klux Klan Carol. I gave her that name. Used to come to job sometimes in the sheets. And I would say, God, you rolled out of bed, didn't you? That was the joke. And she loved me. I used to go to the meetings sometimes, and I'd crack jokes. They loved me. At the time, I was dating a African American woman, and they would call her names that were not African American, and I stuck up for her. If Ellen DeGeneres and David Geffen was, I stuck up with this African American. I think she was gay as well because we had some threesomes, and I don't remember a second cock in the threesome. While being sensitive to the woman in the Klan and putting her on by popular demand, I still was defiant. It was like, guess who's coming to dinner? And it's Ken Cole. And guess who's eating a lot of dinner? It's Ken Cole. I was shortly fired by the ACLU. And I said ACL Louis is the name of the guy I'm going to put. ACL Louis. I said, what if you have a counter show as a liberal and you're ACL Louis and they're Ku Klux Klan Carol? And it didn't work out. I took Carol to her first. I said, we're going to get you some. We're going to make you more liberal, less racist. I took her to her first meditation council. We were thrown out, and she was mad. She said, "No one told me your mantra could not have the N-word there." And that was a bit awkward. Instead of a mat, she had a sheet. And that was awkward. I gave another name to her sidekick, Awkward Ollie, who was a yoga teacher. Now listen, I understand Roger Ailes died. What happened?
Paula Dean made some racist comments.
I understand Paula Dean can cook up a storm. But she said something racist. Well, ask Artie to hold back up.
That's exactly what he
Hold back up. It's the biggest story of the day. I know, but is it really? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. John Kruk cut his mullet. He bet Kirby Puckett's son, who's in single A ball, that if he got a hit his first time up in single A ball, he said he'd cut his mullet. And that's exactly right. So what if we have Kirby? Talk about Kirby Puckett's kid getting a hit. And of course, John Kruk cutting his mullet. Will Artie go for that? No. All right. Well, there's another story. I'm just going to pitch stories. Manny Trio got into a car accident. You remember Manny Trio? Most games without an error? Yeah, in 1981, Ken. That's right. 1981. What if Artie doesn't go for that? Well, I've got a few more here. Davy Lopes admits the pronunciation is Lopez of his name, and he changed the Z to an S because he didn't want discrimination. Actually, tell Artie to stay away from that one. Oh man. He was something else. Ken Cole was something else.
I know.
He just was one of those yes men, middle management guys who you love, but anyone above him or below him could change his opinion just by saying something different, even if it was so just not right, wrong. It could be noon, and he'd go, "God, the sun's out, the moon's out." Of course, the moon is out. And Chris Long would fuck with, just yell at him. Ken, what the fuck? What the fuck? Come on. Nick and Artie, they're at a corner table. And for the money, I know, I'll stop. We don't have the money. We'll just keep them right there.
Oh, my God.
Well, I do a bit, and I'm going to reintroduce to stand-up. He was kind of like this. I say, because this happened to me recently. People in Hollywood, agents, producers, whatever, there's so many bullshitters in Hollywood that there's different categories of bullshit. And one is the bullshitter that's not good at bullshitting, but keeps doing it. You know a guy who is bad at golfing, but keeps golfing? There's people who are bad bullshitters, but they keep bullshitting. Terrible liars, and they keep bullshitting. They're shaking and sweating while they're telling you black is white, and white is fucking black. The other kind of bullshitter is kind of like a Ken sometimes, what I call the speed bullshitter. A speed bullshitter, here's what they'll do. A speed bullshitter in L.A., they're indigenous to L.A., they will say something that is such incredible bullshit that even their bullshitting ass can believe they fucking said it. So they're like, oh my God. So what they do to save faces, they draw back on the bullshit. They say two things right in a row very quickly that are less bullshit to save it. Like, here's two examples. Here's what a speed bullshitter will do in L.A. This guy we're having dinner tonight is Jack Nicholson's son. It's his nephew. He knows him. Last night, I fucked Jennifer Aniston. I met her. I watch Friends. Yeah, that's what they do. Right to your face. Ken's kind of like that. Not in an evil way. A lot of speed bullshitters are evil. A lot of speed bullshitters are evil. Like Rick Dorff, my ex-manager, who's the head of Authentic. Of course, everyone knows Authentic. Authentic management. Hi. When you get a call from your manager and he says, "Yeah, we got you a raise," that's when you'll know you're with Authentic. Yeah. Dorfman will say stuff like, Dorfman, you're driving a 500 SL Mercedes. How'd that happen? We had a great year. I got lucky. My dad bought it. Who thought up the name Authentic? I did. My partner. My dad figured it out. No, Ken, of course, a rich kid, but a nice guy, unbelievable guy, and a smart guy. We parted ways because he wanted. The payment structure with commission had me losing money.
You said Ken, you meant Rick.
Oh no, Rick. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ken would be like, "Hi, I'm Ken, call your manager." Imagine him negotiating for you. I got out of the negotiation jar with Chris Long. How'd it go? We owe him $200. Yeah. You're working an extra day, and we owe him $200 a week. Yeah. Ken Dorfman. Where's Authentic? I got to see Authentic. I get this letter from Authentic. Ready? Dear Jared, that's my lawyer. It's Rick Dorfman. Listen, I heard through the grapevine that Artie's going through some rough times. Tell him I really love him, and I'm very, very concerned, and I hope he's okay. That said, he owes me $13,000. Can he get that to me ASAP? If he can't move because he's in a mental hospital, I'll send somebody. I'll send my assistant, Ira Rosenthal-Bergapiro. Sarah Silverman has a great joke. Her sister was getting married. I think her sister is named. Was it Laura? I don't know. Anyway, but we're the Silverman. She married somebody named Goldberg, but she's going to keep her name, so her name is going to be Laura Silverman Goldberg, or she might shorten it to Jew. Sarah, very, very brilliant writer. Good stuff, Sarah. Anyway, Authentic. I love if like he has to produce a commercial for the website, and it's like a James Earl Jones, like a real deep, like, if you're getting more money for a commercial ad you're doing voiceovers for, and you're able to buy your mother that pacemaker, that means you're with Rick Dorfman and Authentic. If you're talking to your manager on the phone and you realize, wow, he's not like other managers. He doesn't seem phony. It's because he's not. What is he? Authentic. If your manager sells you a Mickey Mantle rookie card and there's no paperwork proving it's the real card, you can trust him. Why? Because he's Rick Dorfman and he is authentic. What rhymes with honest dick? Authentic. Who actually, he's so authentic that Dorfman is thinking of changing his name to Authentic. Authentic Dorfman. Who's so authentic that his friends call him Authentic? Who's so non-phony that his friends call him Authentic instead of just Rick? It's Rick Dorfman. And guess where he works? Authentic. If you're talent, or if you're literary, and you need management, and you live in the hip city of Brooklyn, who I believe annexed in 1898, and is now part of New York City, Authentic, at Authentic, is the man for you. If your manager doesn't have time to listen to a 5-minute promo, he doesn't have time. If he doesn't have time to listen to a 5-minute promo because he wakes up at noon and has to watch an African American polish his car. Oh, no. If your manager is watching JB Smooth polish his car, he must work at Authentic. If your manager said, "My God, you're stealing every episode of a brilliant HBO Larry David award-winning show called Curb Your Enthusiasm," and he somehow parlays that into you hosting a cooking show. if you're the lead, one of the leads, because you were so good in episodes as a recurring character in the award-winning, well-respected Curb Your Enthusiasm, if you're known as maybe the funniest guy on there, and your manager parlayed that into you asking Artie Lang if he wants a cheeseburger, that means you're with Rick Dorfman, and you're authentic. If the potato skins that you order for Keith Robinson at a restaurant in Culver City during your LA swing of your cooking show is all your manager could get you after you win an Emmy for Curb Your Enthusiasm, that means you're with, you guessed right, Rick Dorfman, and you're an authentic. If you pass by a big poster for the movie Trainwreck, and your manager goes, I hope that movie sucks, and makes no money, because the lead of the film left him for technically a smaller management company, you must be with Rick Dorfman, and he's authentic. If his anger for the person in the movie Trainwreck, who we won't divulge, but we'll give the nickname Shmamy Shmoomer, that means you're authentic. If the star of a film happens to have a uncle or cousin who is the leader of the DNC, you're with Rick Dorfman. And his anger for her, him, and all the clients that have left because he wants a commission when they play the Pittsburgh Funny Bone. Instead of seeing the big picture, which is, of course, 10% of J.B. Smooth's cut of the mashed potatoes, he orders for Nick Kroll. If he orders a Nick Kroll roll, you must be an authentic. If you can't go into Largo and swing a dead cat and not hit someone who's left Rick Dorfman, you must be talking in an office at authentic. If it takes 4 hours for you to get in to see the head of CISO, a small digital department who just axed their leader for some of the worst program in the history of the invention of the radio, microphone, and television. And Rick Dorfman said this guy's important and will be around for a long time. And when in the meeting, your friend and fellow Rick Dorfman client, Joe Matarese, is mentioned, and the CISO arrogant asswipe who just got fired rolls his eyes and laughs at his friend Joe Matarese, and Rick Dorfman doesn't at all help Joe Matarese in the conversation, and joins in goofing on his client, and you walk out disgusted, and Rick goes laughingly, "Are you upset that I defended Joe Matarese?" And you say, "Yeah, because he's my friend and your client." And Rick Dorfman goes, "I'm sorry. I didn't know I offended you." And then I said, "It's fine. You're with Rick Dorfman. And you're at authentic." And you just wasted time with a ridiculous 5-minute conversation. If you're the one who's giving 10% to your manager, and he's the one with the 500 SL black Mercedes, and picks you up at the set of your TV show on HBO that he claims you're running away with, but you're not as rich as him, and you're trying to get his life when, well, not now, but his life when he was 11. When you realize you'll never have as good a life as your manager had when he was 11. Growing up in the hills of New Canaan, Connecticut, getting bat mitzvahed. If you've never studied a script as hard as your rich manager studied the Torah when he became a man at 13, you're with Rick Dorfman. You've got a yarmulke on his wedding, and that's authentic. Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. That'll be great. If your manager doesn't realize you have a podcast and you do 4 a week, and the reason he doesn't is because he says he forgot about it. You go with Rick Dorfman. And his stupidity is authentic. Yeah. If your manager can play guitar better than you and refuses to teach you the riff to night moves, and Nils Lofgren, much busier than your manager, was willing to, that disdain, contempt, and utter resentment for you as a creative success is authentic. And Rick Dorfman is authentic at showing you it. If your manager walked out of Hamilton 5 minutes deep and said that his favorite black play was Rent is late, that racism is authentic. Now, my joke is Rent is late. I think he had to Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. I gotta take a break. Here's the deal. My money manager is an old friend of mine and an ex-bookie or a runner for a bookie, depending on what end of $110,000 you are. Jesus. We'll get into that later. Someone was out money, but he's a good kid, this Franny. And I enjoy his company. He's always, managing. He has a specialist with money management, and it's irrelevant entertainers. I am in that category. And, yeah. You know the movie Covenant? I'm making one called Irrelevant. And I get eaten by a bear who's Gary Coleman. And the guy Adam Rich who played Batman. And then, of course, I think, who else? Garrett Morris. But no, I'm kidding. And no, so it's me, and he has the, not even the lead singer, the second lead in back of the lead singer from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Really?
I think he has wind. He has wind or fire. He has the third of the elements. It's true. Yeah, they live in Jersey, those guys. A lot of black entertainers who are like in rap and stuff live in Jersey. What does that tell you? Like if you Run's house, it's the fun. Run from Run DMC is now a preacher. Excuse, I'll give you time to laugh. Got it. He looks like you have to. You young white people, you have to get old tape of Al fucking Sharpton. Oh my God, is it funny? He's 700 pounds. Now he looks, when he turns to the side, he looks like a Pez dispenser. He looks like he looks like a black guy on the cash. But he was a fat guy with like a styled bouffant. Yeah. He's a hairdresser. And he became famous from this girl, Tawana Brawley. He took on the case. Tawana shocked the nation. Yeah. Well, she shocked Queens. And that bled into Manhattan and Jersey. It was a big case. She claimed she got raped by a white person, which happens a lot if you watch commercials for burglar alarms. Honestly, black people have a very, very, very important true point when they say a lot of white people lately are robbing houses. I've seen it. And then I say to myself, where did I see it? Was it out the window? That can't be, unless there's houses on the Hudson River. I've seen, they're right. They're so right. It's not just black people. It's white people robbing houses. And of course, I realize where I saw it, and it's constant. Sometimes 3 white guys in a night will try to rob a black family's home in a very wealthy part of the country. It's the same black family that shit in that box for bloody stools. The same guy, and he looks very successful. Listen, this is Herman Cain. I was listening to your bullshit podcast. You should call it BSPC. I was listening to that bullshit. And you're claiming that some motherfucker look like me is shitting in a box and sending it to some white doctor to see if I got ass cancer. Well, guess what? I don't have ass cancer. Sure, I've eaten a lot of mozzarella. Sure, my back has been on mozzarella while a white chick is riding me from Cheyenne. Sure, I've got some what we call white in the white. But don't even try to tell me Herman Cain, former Republican nominee, well, tried for nominee, a guy who ran for president, who owns a pizzeria. Godfather pizzeria. Yeah, a lot of our towns are upset I got that name. I got that domain name. I snapped it up because I'm a go-getter. I'm picking up the slack for lots of the brothers, much like Steve Harvey. Yeah, I live in Cheyenne. Yeah, so a lot of white guys are, and when I say white, I mean we're talking Kirk Cameron. They all have black hoods and black hoodies. Another one of my favorite Biggie Small song. I'll sing it right now for you. When I die fucking, I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of shit. It ain't hard to fucking tell. Don't want to go to hell with the goodies. Want to go to heaven with the black hoods and black hoodies. Thank you. Want to go to hell with the burglar alarm. No, I've seen a lot of white guys robbing houses, of course, in commercials for burglar alarms. The political correctness is out of control. I'll get into Rush Limbaugh right now. They show clips of Rush Limbaugh doing his show. It's disconcerting.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
He is in his home, I guess, right? I got it. I just spilled some more. Well, that's all right. It's like the Pepsi syndrome. I guess Rush Limbaugh's in his house in Florida. No, this is Herman Cain cutting in again. It's actually outside of Cheyenne. No, it's not. I'll sell him a lot of pizza. It looks like it. Thank you, Dan. Let's just go back to fake laughing. That's what we need. Last 10 shows. Last 10 shows, baby. We're going to get to 400. That's right. Get to 400, which Roger Ailes was, I believe. Yeah, so what was I even saying? What was I saying? Come on, please tell me.
Rush Limbaugh.
Yes, thank you. So I guess he's in the same house that he was in when the maid was selling him bikes.
Yes, he is.
Oh, it's a huge house.
Yes.
And he kicked her right out. Listen, Consuelo. I believe you sold tapes to the liberals at National Enquirer. You know they're liberals out to take me down. You sold a tape of me. You asked me to name something, to give a nickname to the money. And I chose cabbage. Not a great nickname. People could find it out at the Federal Bureau of Idiots. The guy who started the place dressed like a broad. Yet they investigate Moa. Who do they investigate? A guy with 2 thumbs, can speak French, and has an IQ north of 170. Moa. And I know it's radio. I'm pointing to myself with my 2 thumbs and speaking French. Yes. Well, I'll say right now to prove it's me, Rush Limbaugh Rule of Life number 17, how to get rid of nuclear weapons. Use them. Yes. Of course, the fabulous comedian Artie Lang used me for a very important screen test at 20th Century Fox in front of someone who I call a brother from another mother, Quincy Jones, whose African name I believe is Fuck Rush. Fuck a Russia. So, yeah, Artie's bit, I'll help him out now by doing it, was I, Rush Limbaugh, singing Rush songs. Now, you could say it's, what's the word that the kid whose nickname on Twitter is Artie's Black Liver uses? Yes, okay, hacky. He calls it hackadelic. But I'll sing it now because I believe it's fabulous. Of course, I spent a lot of cabbage to get high to listen to Artie singing Rush Limbaugh doing Rush. Living in the limelight, ye. That's all I have. Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you. With the space he invades, he in fact gets high on you. Yes, Neil Peart will take it away, doing the drums, which hurts my fucking ears. Neil, take it away. Wait, that's Limelight. You get the picture. Closer to the heart. I've got a Heineken fart. My favorite Simpson is Bart. You are a sexy little tart. You're a spinner. Now I'll do the spinners. Rubber band man. Get your cat and cane. That's all I have on that one. I don't know a lot of the colored songs, but I know they're good. And I know Whitey stole from them. A white man did not invent the blues. Rush knows that. I'll speak about myself in the third person. Rush knows that. The blues were invented on a porch outside of Birmingham or Baton Rouge, outside the Club Boca Nuts in Boca Raton, where I worked on an early stand-up act with the overrated Lenny Bruce, the liberal heroin addict, and I'll say heroin. I learned the word heroin by Googling Kevin Hart's stand-up, and the guy needs a stool, and a bloody one at that. The show, I believe, has taken an ugly turn. But I'll say this. That's how I got a lot of money. Because I got royalties on that gig. Every time they do it. I'm like I'm like Adam Sandler in that Jew song. Goldie Hawn is half Jewish. So is James Caan. Put them together, that's one good-looking Jew. No. Wrong riff. Of course, my favorite character in the West Side Story is Biff. And sometimes as a musical genius, I'll say Riff. Riff always says, I want to bust him. Boy, crazy boy. Officer Crumpkey. Crump you. Tonight, I'm going to meet a filthy PR. I think I go back to San Juan. I know a boat you can get on. Everyone there will give big cheer. Everyone there, in fact, will have moved here. It's Tony. Don't tell me you're going out with a filthy wop. That's what he said about. That's what his father said about us, Mom. He said filthy Puerto Ricano. He no friend. Thank you.
Man,
I don't know.
how about a Tony?
Tony from actually Tony from West Side Story. Tony is the white kid that ends up. Well, I don't want to give it away, but let's just say Tony ain't a breathing too good at the end of it. Stephen Sondheim was interviewed recently and talks about a meeting with Leonard Bernstein. But I did Rush, Quincy Jones laughing like crazy. High five me. I didn't know the high five was still in. I had to do 3 impressions. I did that.
Whatever Quincy does is in.
Absolutely. That, you know what, Dan? Absolutely. That's the way to put it. Sinatra even said that. You think Quincy was allowed to fuck white broads in front of Sinatra? I think he was, because Sammy did. They got Sammy, that German broad.
Right.
And she had the audacity to bitch about the bit where it is disconcerting. They in the one sketch they do is the Rat Pack. Sammy Davis becomes a thing, not a human being. He becomes an award from the NAACP. Dean Martin, they pick him up because he's about 2'8". And Sinatra hands him like an infant or a duffel bag to in fact Dean Martin, who literally does not get rid of a cigarette. Uses 2 hands, but smoke. I think him and Sammy smoked so much that in that bit they smoked for each other. Dean Martin's cigarette got closer to Sammy's mouth, vice versa. But Sammy smoked Dean Martin's. Dean Martin did not smoke Sammy's. I wonder why. Wonder why. No 5-second rule there. How about 400-year rule? So he married a beautiful. He married her, right? That blonde.
Yeah.
She was Luxembourg or something, Lithuanian. She was mad. She had the audacity to complain. Hey, honey, sweetie, you wouldn't be near Sammy Davis if not for those guys. Because you know where he'd be? He'd be in the Shoo Club. Shining shoes. He'd be going, hey, Billy, no more shine. That's what Sinatra would say. Go home and get your shine box. Sinatra loved the blacks. Well, whatever. When Sammy Davis, in the last documentary about Sinatra, and how many can there be at this point? I almost know everything about Julie Rizzo. Rickles, I tell you, when you think Rickles has no more good stories, you've heard them all. He comes up with a good one. And the last Sinatra thing on HBO. Oh God, that's hilarious. He had a good one about him and Julie Rizzo. Sinatra was paranoid that someone's going to kill him. It was around the Kennedy shit, So Julie Rizzo was Sinatra's, right-hand guy who supposedly, could fix a crap game or two. And Sinatra's paranoid and drunk. He also for the first time in that documentary made you think, maybe they tried some weed every once in a while. Sinatra and weed. I'm seeing colors, baby. That's Sammy. That humor. So Sinatra thought there was like gunshots outside, and he says to Rickles and Julie, "Go out and check that. Go check that." And so, as good friends, okay. And it really sounded weird. They go out. It's thunder and lightning outside their window, and Rickles goes, "Okay, fine, whatever. We'll go up and tell him that." Frank, it's thunder and lightning. It ain't thunder and lightning. It ain't. But it died down. He goes, "All right, whatever." 10 minutes later, thunder and lightning again. Go check it out. Go check it out. So Julie and I go check it out. Third time, go check it out. The third time they're outside and they're looking around, and Rickles stopped Julie and said, "Do you realize that right now he can't see us? And we're still pretending there's someone out here." They were literally looking for a guy, knowing it was thunder and lightning. Sinatra was upstairs probably fucking the maid. Which I did, of course. They literally go back, and eventually Sinatra passed out. They saw thunder and lightning. Sinatra's passed out. They went down again. That was a joke at the end, but they really did. Like, that is Rickles, like, really, telling Julie Rizzo, and and so the young kid who was interviewing him? Fuck, it might have been for some reason Bob Costas, but Julie was just and why'd you go back down? Respect.
Yes.
The third time, Sinatra, they went back down again, even though they knew it was just thunder and lightning. Why? Because it's respect. Would Justin Bieber's opening act do that? No, because it's abroad. It's Solande Grande. Everyone had American names. Sinatra would make the Hispanics have American names. What a great story. And did you ever hear that before?
No.
Oh. And Dennis Miller told us the one about his kid in the trunk.
Oh.
Got kidnapped, and kidnappers left him out of the trunk. And Rickles went up to him and said, the day he got back. So there's still it's a sore wound. And this is how comfortable he was with Sinatra. And he went up and said, "Frank, you hear why it was just in the news. Why they let your son go? Why? He started singing in the trunk." Frank Sinatra Jr. never married. Bit of a boob. How do you live up to that? Here we go. Name a really cool celebrity guy who had a son almost or just as cool. And dare I say cooler. I can't think of one guy that.
Bob Levy.
You wait till the last one to get with his wit? Unbelievable. That's perfect. Bob Levy's son, also a Bill O'Reilly fan. Signed. Okay. Think of somebody. Johnny Carson, no. All these poor kids. Paul Newman. Poor kids die. They're doing drugs. Steve McQueen had Chad McQueen. Chad McQueen's kind of a cool guy, but a ne'er-do-well.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart? Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart. That's me blowing my. Who? The Thing?
Thick. His kid is a.
That's famous. A great. You know what? That's awesome. That's a good. Yeah, because he gets a lot of pussy too. It's Robin Thicke.
Yeah, Robin Thicke.
Bobby Moynihan? Is he Pat Moynihan's kid? And my nose sounds. As you know, I fell off the wagon a year ago, and I snorted glass, and not Todd Glass. And the chick I was with, again, who could find my favorite line. It's not. I guess it's not great, but it makes me laugh. This broad could find the most expensive plate of strawberries in any state. Crushed up a OxyContin pill, 80 milligram. It's what we call in the business blowing an 80. We smoke doolies.
That was Rush's big thing, wasn't it? Oxy? Was that his?
I think so. Oxy. Yeah. Hillbilly heroin. Ain't nothing hillbilly about it. That's crazy. Our friend Kamal, his sister, helped invent it. She's a scientist, Kamal's sister. Kamal comes from royalty. Kamal, the jerky boy Kamal, the Egyptian magician. He's known as Egyptian magician or Sal or the unfunny jerky boy. My good friend, though, he got insulted. He feels doing the show makes him sound like a goofy director, and he wants to be known as I don't know. I don't know. Saul Rosenberg. He won't do the show. I think he wants to do the show now. I mean, what is he doing in Queens? But his father is royalty in Bangladesh. I think gave Kamal a house so he doesn't go there. Let me tell you something. You no come here. You have an ass the size of Flushing. Why you do? You have the house. Take the house. You have no mortgage. No mortgage. You hang out with that fat comedian, that Artie Lang. What is he doing? You talk to 7-Eleven and go with him after this Howard Stern show. A Jew. A Jew! Like a Jew sauce. A Jew sauce. That's a joke. Very funny. Over here in Bangladesh, I am big doctor. That's right. Open heart surgery, which you'll need soon. But I will not do it. I think the films that you make, the way you'll make money is if you show them on your ass. Your ass is the size of a multiplex. How to lose a girl in 10 days on my son's ass. That's coming. Kate Hudson. Your ass is the size of the Hudson River. Tell her to use it. Maybe you'll get some of that beautiful white pussy that is over there. I know you've gotten some. I just had an Irish brogue for some reason. You're up to the devil's business. So listen, this is your dad saying happy belated birthday and get the fuck out of the house in Flushing. Why did I mention Kamal? Because he did the Oxycontin, his sister. His sister's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And her daughters, the ones who met the chick's daughter over at the Oxycontin. Norm said, Kamal said that he was visiting his father who lives in a palace. In
Bangladesh?
Yes, absolutely. Well, not here. It's $4 or whatever. You can afford a shed here. You must come. He went there, lives in a palace, still can't stay there. He said he was there in August once. It was 400 degrees. Walking through the woods, and he stopped himself an inch before he went into a web with a spider the size of a bird.
Oh man!
And he goes, "Do they get in the house?" Said, yeah. I'm like, "What? How do you sleep?" No one, Cujo's there. No, they love when a spider picks your house to be in because he eats all the bugs. You know. Yes, he eats all the Oxycontin sometimes. You have to see him. It's like Charlotte's Web, only high. He is high. The spider's high. The most disgusting thing I've ever seen a guy do at a bachelor party. And look, I'm a longshoreman. I'm a filthy comedian. I'm not offended by much, especially sexual. My buddy Larry has two gorgeous, gorgeous sisters who exclusively date Cuban guys who take them for their money. And my sister almost had a situation. Let's just say my sister dated a really great Cuban guy who had a hot dog truck that didn't sell only hot dogs. No. Let's just say a white pizza or something else. Can I have 8 bowls? And they're beautiful sisters, beautiful. And they had Kamal's just gorgeous, and they are every time they come out they try to support Kamal. They go to the movies and I see them, and they are talk about eye rolls. Because they have to know that they're gonna he will be needed. He's needing support. Yes. Financial. And I'd do anything with a kid, but he expects it. Gives me shit. You a fucking loser. What are you doing? You're fat. You know what I mean? I could do what you do. You fucking do it. Then do it. You got lucky, you fucking big bird put you on a show. So you were on with them. They treat us like shit. John, Jackie think they're funnier than us. Well, not a show that's funnier than fuck you. What you do is easy. Can you get the check? That's literally the conversation. He lived for a while before he moved to Flushing. Kamal, and I love Kamal, but it's funny to give him it's funny to point out a person's negative shit. What am I gonna say? Hey, what is a good whatever? Do a good Egyptian voice. Egyptian. This is the Mexican man is burning up my television. Some of those calls, they get those guys on the hook, man. Oh, I know. The guy believed Kamal was an Egyptian magician, and he had to get to work. And he goes, Kamal says to the guy, This is brilliant. He and the what's his face? The funny one. No, the guy who does Sal Rosenberg and Rizzo. He's pretends to be the Mexican guy, like doing the and he goes, "You guys ruining my TV." He goes, "Get him out of there! Get him out of there!" This guy's the Queen's guitar. Get him the fuck out of there! Hey, Pedro, is he Pedro? Yeah, I think it's Pedro. They play like the machine, the TV break. What are you doing? I ain't paying for this. I gotta piss with. We're back. These are the fun ones. These are the ones I'm gonna miss the most. Just me and Danny in this apartment making magic happen. And when about a year from now, when I'm forced out of this apartment, I have to buy a place in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Google it. Kind of place where dogs are afraid they're gonna step in human shit. Maybe I'll get in on the mansion. What's his face? But I will miss these shows. This is. I mean, this is the first of maybe 10, or towards the end of next week. And the sadness will hit. The in fact depression will set in, and what you'll hear is similar to what you heard at the very beginning of this podcast in San Francisco, when I was looking at, unbeknownst to me, an 11-hour drive in the rain, trying to get into San Simeon. And Timmy, not knowing what San Simeon is. Is that where Sylvester Stallone shot lockup? No, it's not where Sylvester Stallone shot lockup. So it's in fact not where. Oh, San Simeon. So like it's like apes? No. It's not about apes. Is it sand? No, sand has nothing to do with it. What is it? I'll tell you after I cry for an hour. You were close. It's about an ape who owned a paper. Oh, they made a movie. Is it King Kong? They made a movie about him. You know what? I knew it. I knew you'd do it. You got it right. It's about King Kong, who owns a paper. Yep, and Fay Ray. No, forget it. Yeah. Timmy is much like the guys who run Authentic. If your manager thinks the Zapruder film is an actual movie in theaters, you're at Authentic. If you ask your manager, who's Rick Dorfman, for a box of shit, and he gives you a box of Shinola, proving he doesn't know shit from Shinola, you're at Authentic. If you catch your manager, Rick Dorfman, putting Preparation H on his elbow because it was sprained, and you realize your manager, Rick Dorfman, doesn't know his ass from his elbow, you're at Authentic. If your manager says, "Come into my office, I'll explain the plane trip we're going to go on," and he points to the blue on a globe and says, "We'll be using this airspace," and you realize your manager, Rick Dorfman, thinks the blue part of a globe is the sky, you're at Authentic's office. You're at the head Authentic in charge. If on the set of Crashing, your manager during lunch, Rick Dorfman, tells you he's real good friends with Judd Apatow and has known him for years, and then later Judd Apatow pulls you over to the side, points to your manager, Rick Dorfman, who's eating a bagel, and says, "Tell your friend he's eating too much craft service." And you realize he's never met Judd Apatow, and you're going to introduce him to Judd Apatow and help one of his asshole clients get in a film. You're at Authentic. If you're standing next to your manager on the set of Crashing, and you see about 8 feet away Judd Apatow pointing and saying, "Hey, Rick, I have to talk to you after lunch," and you say, "Wow, you were right," and your manager said, "See," completely lying, and then you look over your shoulder and you see the key grip, whose name is Rick, and he was talking to the key grip, whose name is Rick, and not your manager, whose name is Rick Dorfman. He needs to talk to him about a lighting situation in his office after lunch. Guess what? Guess where you are? Authentic. Oh, that's fucking great. Authentic. Your ass from your preparation age. If your manager swears to you that Bobby Moynihan is the son of Pat Moynihan, and then you run into Bobby Moynihan and say, how's your father, Pat? I always liked him as a politician. And he looks at you like you just said, I'm going to suck my own dick in the middle of Nobu. You're at Authentic. Oh, my God. All right, well, anyway, I wish I was at Authentic. So, what were we talking about real quick? I'll wrap it up. We were talking about Stan Simeon, right? We're goofing on
right,
something.
with Timmy.
Timmy, yeah. The book, A Confederacy of Dunces, is based on a Jonathan Swift quote. And the quote is as follows. If the way to tell a true genius in life is if the dunces are in a confederacy against him, and you realize that you might be a genius because your manager, Rick Dorfman, is a dunce and is against you, even though he doesn't know it. Guess where you're a client? Authentic. If your management company's biggest client is a black person whose name isn't Kevin or Eddie or Hannibal, you're at Authentic. All right. We're done with that. Listen, I have to. I'll tell you. This is really a sad situation. Not money wise. I'm actually saving money. I was talking. The reason I was bringing Fran, the ex-bookie money manager, who really is a great guy. I love Fran. I've known him forever, but ripped off my friend for $104,000. It's all in the Details magazine article that was out in 1999. This guy was a friend of. Not a friend, but he wanted to write a big article in Details. Norm said, come, we'll play poker. We played poker every week at the time. Well, we tried to. And he played poker with us. He loves gamblers. And it was a setup. He could care less about the show or dirty work. He likes degenerate gamblers who are like somewhat famous. What a hatchet job. And I called my manager, who did nothing. And that was Authentic. Yeah, so, Fran's mentioned that because I got mad at Norm at the poker table because he brought up something. I brought up this and blah. Yeah. I think Fran was the bookie who got the money. It's a long story. And then Fran claims, no, the bookie had a bread route in Jersey City. Cut to me and Norm ordering bread from every bakery in Jersey City. And saying, hey, you look, where'd that Corvette come from? If your manager has a better car than every one of his clients, he's Authentic. He's an authentic rich kid asshole. No, I'm kidding. I know this sounds like I don't like Ken. I'm goofing around. He's actually a nice guy who I think, look, he had a lot of money, but I goof sometimes based on the true thing. They had money, but he went through hard times. When he was about 20 during Passover, they went to his aunt's house, who was in a bad part of town. They opened the door for the angel Elijah, and the angel Tyrone came in. The Hell's Angel Tyrone. And looted the place. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it's a racist, disgusting thing. But so Fran informed me. I was talking to Fran on the phone, and it wasn't even. He was. I don't know when Fran was going to tell me this. He's my money manager. Look, the show when it first came out, it started out slow, but we were doing it right for a little while. We had enough subscribers to where I was making well into six figures a year. And Dan, of course, no matter what happens, gets paid. That's the guy to be. And the other people who, no matter what, get paid, are a little company I like to call Juice Hum. No, I'm kidding. It was a stupid joke. Cut that out. Now, Blue Sun. And they are our tech people, whatever. You need a person who knows their shit to do PayPal. PayPal, when you guys swear, I don't know what you do. Whatever you bitch about. A quarter a fucking day. Guys, guess what? Most of you are great people. But every once in a while, somebody bitches. Hey, Art, you only did 16 hours of podcasting this week. I'm used to 19. Really? Maybe that's why you don't have a quarter a day. Get off your ass. 19 hours. Did you watch Kelly Ripa too? What the fuck? And you go, oh, you're out of line. I thought you were a cool guy. I'm the coolest guy you know. You're bitching about a quarter a day. Okay, let me explain what a quarter a day is. The podcast is free. This podcast is free. A quarter a day to a guy in his 30s, which is my demographic, is free. Free. I don't want to hear Hulu's $12 a month. I don't want to hear this, that. Howard, it's serious. Howard, it's serious. You're still paying him a fucking $500 million a year. He reviews Leland's Dancing. The guy, America's Got Talent. Holy Christ. Howard was a judge on a show hosted by Diane Cannon. I know it's Abe Cannon. What's his name? His name? Daryl Cannon.
Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon. There you go. Thank you. He's got an Italian name. What's that about? Filthy wop. For a little while, I don't know. Ralph was even worse than he usually is, and dressed Howard in a exact suit, the exact same suit, one episode, as Nick Cannon. Oh. They both had on like a tweed 3-piece suit. They looked like Ray Walston in Silver Streak. That's what they look like, Ray Walston in Silver Streak with the hat and everything. Yeah. At the croupier at Gilman's says he only comes in to play Pharaoh all night long, just him against the house. Does he ever do anything when he's not alone? Just poker. And he cheats. Pretty good at it, too. That's what he looks like. Howard looks like an 8-foot bird. And Nick Cannon looks like a dummy, like not an actual dummy, but he's clearly a smart guy. You fucking scam Mariah Carey. Yes. Got her pussy pregnant, and then, okay, I'll be by the pool. Do you realize that black guys are becoming less cool? That's what political correctness is doing. Do you know why black guys were cool? Because they talk like this. What's up, motherfucker? This is Herman Cain. I don't want no bullshit. They're so cool. I wish I could talk like that. I used to be able to talk like that. Richard Pryor, they're doing that bit where he goes through the woods, a black guy too cool to camp, and he sees a snake and he just jumps over. Snake. Black chick having a snake crawl up her pussy. He talks like a black guy. And now they go, what's a black guy talk like? You know what the fuck I'm talking about. What's up, motherfucker? Get your ass over here. That's a black guy. But now, that's not allowed. I'm Italian. In fucking movies that are successful about Italians, you think they talk like Mario Cuomo? No. Would you want to hang around an Italian guy that talks like Chris Cuomo? Answers his own question and looks at his pecs. Pompous ass. Pompous ass. You're not the one who fucking dug out of the fucking neighborhood in Queens playing baseball. St. John's, all that bullshit. Guy who liked glucon seca. Worst skin I ever saw in my life.
Yes.
Worst skin I ever saw. He's the only guy that old could say this. It's a racist joke. Just go with it. Say to black kids in 1950, I have worse skin than you. I have the kind of skin that gets me thrown off a bus as well. What do you have? What do you have? Like rosacea or some shit?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Dementia.
And that voice, too. I remember because...
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Listen.
I know. Yeah, dementia. You know who doesn't remember Roger Ailes' life? Luke on a second. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're taking away black guys. Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence has 17 stand-up comedy specials. All of them have a title that are not good grammar. He's so fun, you so fine, fuck it. You know, the agents don't laugh at shit. I pitch it to agents. I have this stand-up sitcom idea. I'll say, oh boy. I said, could Falco and Lacorn get on TV now?
No.
Because he talks. No, a lot of black guys don't talk like that now, but chickens do. I grew up thinking that's how chickens talk. I would go to a chicken. I wasn't a bright kid. You know that thing where your uncle, somebody says, I got your nose?
Yes.
I fell for that till I was 14. Honestly. I mean, I went up to chicken till I was 14 and said, hey, but what's up? I'll say, what's up? Looked at me. No, just looked at me. Chicken. Black guys punch me. No, but it was just fucking fun. I'm talking Italian, you're talking black, right?
Yes.
If you date my sister, we fight.
Yeah.
Watch Beer League. That's how it used to be. Jerry Minor, I wanted to give him a note. Frank wouldn't let me black it up a little. I didn't have to give that to Nick. Nick's a cop, a Boston cop, and says, "Hey, black guy, hook me up with some coke." No one hits a line like that out of the park like Nick DiPaolo. It is absolutely a... What's the guy's name? Papa Jones, the big left-hander of the Red Sox.
Oh,
enormous.
oh God!
How come we can't remember his Big Poppy?
Yeah.
We would do a thing with him too, with
Yeah.
Fredo. Oh, that was the best thing. How come that didn't catch on to Boston announcers when he was up?
Right.
How do you not know his name? Google it.
I
Come
know.
on, I got a laptop in front of you. You have a Dell in front of you. Yeah, I used to do a bit where, like, you know, when he hit a home run, if it went over
David Ortiz.
David Ortiz. David Ortiz. When it went over the fence, I would go pa. And the Fredo thing from when he watches his old man get shot. They hit him with 5 shots and he's still alive. Yeah, so I would do like Fredo yelling that out in any situation, like, you know, like or the announcers doing it for Ortiz. Hanging pitch to Ortiz, 2-2, bases loaded, bottom 9. Ortiz turns on that one, going, Papa! Boy, he had baggy pants on that guy. Shit, sorry, Dan. Sorry. I almost Mario Bosco.
Nice.
Mario Bosco, the little eye tie, ruined Dan's Apple computer.
Get a brand new Apple.
By spilling fucking water on it. I just spilled something. I did it on purpose. I'm hostile toward Dan. Now, I'm thinking of a life without Dan and this podcast, and, you know, without Dan, the podcast, or heroin and coke. I don't know, man. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? You have to do that, then get on there. Is it going to ruin that thing? I'll buy a new one. I got to anyway. How long have we had this equipment? 3 years?
3 years.
Well, no, we're going to end up doing 2 years. Anyway, so Fran calls me up and goes, listen, you know, everybody, we joked about it too, but I guess it's too easy. And people do, like, they have 7-year-olds who could do this. Dan claims there's statistics that prove this. For a little while, I was making close to $500,000 a year for doing this from my couch. Listen, I'm talking like an idiot. Dan was getting paid. You know, the fucking guy, I don't even know their names, Russ, the tech guys, they were doing PayPal. I swear to God, 2 years ago, how long? 2 years and a couple of months, right? 2 years ago. We have a conference call with the guys from Blue Sun. Or whatever, you know, they're great. And the guy goes, yeah, I'm going to get on that. I have a lot of ideas. You do? Yeah. I'll call you next week. All right. I have not heard from him. Since. I haven't heard from the guy 2 years ago. But then I get a call from Fran Gallagher. Money man extraordinario. Never shaved in his life. Irish guy with no hair. And I goes, here's the thing. This is how Fran talks. I love him. He called himself in the first way. Here's the thing. Franny called. He's Franny. It's like Bill O'Reilly with talking points. Here's the thing. Franny called. Said, listen, they need money. They claim you haven't paid them. I said, what? They claim you haven't paid them. Who looks at who believes in me? They need $5,000 and it'll be a hole. Who sends them $5,000 immediately? I'll give you a hint. He has 2 thumbs, speaks French, and changes his first name to a Spanish version or Italian version quite a bit. I'm pointing to myself with my thumbs. Arturo Moa. Okay, so they're paying. Here's the thing. They call me. Love the, thanks. You did a prompt. They love you. Well, friend, I had a conference call with the guys, and the one guy, this is only 4 weeks after the conference call, the wound is still fresh. Here's the thing. He doesn't think you're serious. Serious about what? I don't know. Here's the thing. Franny called. Franny called. I haven't talked to Franny about that in a long time. Franny always has to buy slacks, I think. Here's the thing. Franny was going to call, but I need slacks. I was a ball player. I was always thin. You know that. It worked out. Wind sprints, Franny. Never had a tuna fish salad. Never did. Mayo, too much mayo. Franny. You would want a $200 salary, go to the diner after a Saturday game. You're a natural hitter. I get it. You were 3 for 4. No reason to lift a weight. I get it, Freddie. But I had to work. I had a split finger fastball. I had a curve. Franny. I had to work out with somebody. April, it's cold. I want to move down to Florida. I told my father I want to move down to Florida. Start playing in January. Baseball. Pitching, wind sprints, ball player. Good pitcher. I hit against him once in a scrimmage game. First pitch, base hit, solid line drive to center. I am 1 for 1 against Franny. And he knows it. You know who knows it? Franny. You know who hit against him? Artie. So, he says that, but he gives me the stats. He goes, everything, that was a lot of money. We're doing well. Now, look, I know maybe this is not everyone's brand of humor. So some people might have dropped off, but everyone says in statistics, no, they like it. They clearly like it. Listen, I don't know how funny this is in the grand scheme of comedy. Although, I got to tell you, I think, I'm going to sound like a pompous ass. I'm going to say this. And Dan takes a lot of credit for this, too. It's 50-50. Dan is great at what he does. He knows me better than anybody. I'm more comfortable doing comedy around him than anybody. I'm not comfortable doing drugs around him.
Oh, God.
Matt served for a Portuguese chick named, she says Amanda. Doesn't make any sense. Franny, don't get a whore. Money, Franny. I really think, and the hardcore fans, I'm talking to the Vinnie Monroys, who take the material from the show and make amazing things. What are they, memes?
Yes.
Fag pegs or something?
Yeah.
Vinnie Monroy's amazing, and I love the kid. I met them in L.A. There was some stuff missing when they left.
I'm blaming it on Charman, Ryan Charman.
Watch this. Want to hear what my life is about? Listen to this. After that bitch made me snort glass blowing an 80. Listen to this. You're going to hear my 8th grade report card come up.
God. Oh.
What is that? Wait a minute. You know what that is? Franny. Franny. That's a fungo bat.
Oh, God. Oh.
Franny. You don't take it seriously. That's Franny. Shit. Wait a minute. That's an insult Nick gave me. That's an insult Nick gave me. I can't knows. That's Aaron Spielberg. Artie, I had a guy who sneezed on the air. We were in the Adirondack. I don't recall the name of the town, but I had the mayor in my palm of my hand. Chris Long sent me there and said, fuck you, every day. And because I made the mistake of using the word backney around him. Let me just say this. The Italian-American people are great people. Chris Long's not Italian. I don't think they're good people at all. What is Chris Long? I think he's German. The Germans have always been friends of the Jews. I did a great joke. I said, what does the Holocaust?
Oh, God.
You know what it cost? Nothing. Why? It didn't exist.
Oh.
Yes, it did. Of course it did. 6 million people, 2 million. Absolutely 2 million. What a lie. And what is 2 million? Nothing. What are they mad about? What are they mad about? So, what's I saying?
Fran and the podcast.
Fran. Now, so I'm making money. And then 2 days ago, I'm at the W Hotel in Hoboken. I can't even get into why. I'm at the Hoboken W. Muhammad Atta was painting my house. Muhammad Atta. There's a terrorist doing my tiles. He had Dan on all fours one day. I come out. You okay, man? You're not here. Palestinian guy. He was mad at me until I showed him a picture of me golfing with Trump. You know. You know Trump, huh? You the boss? Ha. I'm not kidding. That's how he talks. The man is the most obnoxious thing that's ever breathed air. And I'm talking like warthogs. You go, your dad a pizza. What about pizza? Your dad a pizza. I want him and Fran to talk to each other. Here's thing, Palestine, Franny. Fuck you. Here's thing, Franny. The tiles cost money. Sure, they cost money. I need tile. You don't need tiles, Franny. Guys, it's Ken Cole. It's Ken Cole. I'm here. Fuck you, Ken. Fuck you. You big fat dad. Fuck you. I'm not that fat anymore. Who are you? Willie. Willie Mays, you fucko. I'm Palestine. You Jew? Yes, I am. I'm proud. Fuck you. You smell like menorah. Very good joke. Here's the thing, Freddie. No, so anyway, I'm talking to a friend on the phone, and he goes, well, you're losing money on the podcast. Like, just casually. I thought at this point I was making about $150,000 off it, because that's what the last figures. No. For the last 3 months, I've been losing, get ready, $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month is what I'm bleeding. Now, I've made good money. But as Chick Galante used to say at the podcast, you ain't no Jew. You got a goyish a cup. And Howard said the same thing. You got a goyish a cup. I do. And it's going to have to be out now for money. I want my goyish a cup to get change in it. Wall Street, baby. So I go, Fran, what are you talking? You're my money guy. Why did you not tell me this? Why didn't you tell me you're my money guy? Well, here's the thing, Franny. I said, Franny told Danny. He's rhyming now. Franny told Danny. Now, Dan, defend yourself. When did you first hear that I was losing, in fact, $6,000 a month? And the reason why is the most furious reason ever. It's not because people don't like it. They like it. They realize that a fourth grader could steal this podcast. Do you know how he learned? His third grader brother taught him. And people started doing it. They said, like, let's just, they said, we'll steal. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Danny and Franny are telling me that to make me feel better. Another problem is I am 49 and irrelevant. I think I'm funny. I do.
You're amazingly funny.
Well, it's too late for that. That doesn't feed the cat. Thank you. I'm gonna go. I'll get a little obnoxious here before I give you the floor, Dan. Because when I give you the floor, I'm taking the bed. I think, and I might be way out of line here. I think the podcast that Danny and I have done together, and the Artie Lang show as well, you can lump it in, the Nick and Artie show. Me and Dan on the train. No, let's stick to the podcast. This podcast is either as funny or funnier than every podcast that has ever been produced. Ever. And I do this like as a matter of fact. Dan pulls a bunch of stories. This podcast tonight's an hour and 20 minutes. It's better than everything Mark Maron's ever done. And I love Mark. It's funnier than a stand-up, his show, his podcast, put it together, every interview he's ever done. And I know he's had a lot of UCB people in there. You know why I'm funnier than Mark Maron? I'm a bigger loser. I'm a bigger loser with loser stories. I'm a junkie who was a shit road comic for years. You think I have stories? When those worlds collide, and you're in the shittiest neighborhood in Cincinnati, asking a guy who don't talk like Nick Cannon if he can get the drugs to the Fuckface Theater or the Funny Bone in time for me to go on stage, otherwise I got to go on in withdrawals.
Oh, God.
You don't think those are interesting stories? Now, I've done it for 20 years because I never stopped doing drugs. Mark stopped years ago. He's got amazing stories. But Mark's a prouder, classier person than me. Doesn't share them. I don't give a fuck. My mother cried after certain Stern shows. Stern shows I thought were amazing. The day I told the pig story, where I'm doing cocaine, that was voted, in fact, the funniest moment in the first 20 years of Howard. In fact, not a broad on the Simeon jerking off. Not a chick we threw mayonnaise bologna at. That I dominated. Not a chick putting a stick in her asshole and me winning the Lord of the Anal fucking Rings. It was me telling a story. But a story where I was dressed like a pig for a sketch in Malibu, getting cocaine from a Rastafarian dealer at Duke's in Malibu, going into the bathroom at Duke's, not realizing I looked like a pig with 3 hours of pig prosthetics on me. And then I had, after that, a problem that I guarantee no other human being has had before, during, or since. I put some coke on a key. It's called a key hit. Google it. And I went to do it. And I noticed I couldn't get it through the pig snout. So now I'm faced with, do I break the pig outfit? I'm the star of the sketch. I'm in every goddamn shot. It's going to take 14 hours. My poor castmates are sitting there in their makeup, fake tan. And I go, I have to make an executive decision. An executive decision in my 27-year-old life at the time was, do I break the pig snout to do cocaine?
Oh, God.
Dan, you've known me for 5 years. What decision do you think I made? Yeah, we all know it. Well, I'm talking to my friends.
Down goes the snout.
Absolutely. And up goes the blow. I drive to Topanga Canyon. Now, the woman who did, and then out goes the shit when I had the bed. That was in someone else's name. That's the kicker. Beautiful assistant director. Well, Josh Berger, he was hot too, but Tara Passander, these two, the great guy and a gal who was just a gorgeous woman. They saved my life. The both of them saved my life. Assistant directors saved my life like at least 3 times. You think I get a card from them? No. I haven't seen them in years. No, so I broke the snout. I did the coke. The funny thing I left out was I never told the black guy who I got a number from I had a massive problem in New York when I was struggling. And I said to the guy, you got any contacts in L.A.? He goes, yeah. If the guy had said no, I probably would not be sitting here with Dan. I'd be alive, but more successful. No, you'd be successful too. You'd be sitting with the Wees or something. You'd be at Jonathan Brandmeier's house trying to put his cable on. Is Kevin Matthews alive?
Yes.
Oh, good.
He has MS, though. So.
Oh. All right, shit. I was going to goof on him. Nah, what a great guy. He was a nice guy.
Yes.
You never did anything with me in Chicago. You did. So, I mean, look, it was, I never told the kid I was on the black guy. So he knows I need coke bad. That's all I tell him. And he was like the wolf. He was like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. He happened to be in a tuxedo at a party nearby. Tuesday morning at 9. Now, he was around. Gets out of his metallic blue Corvette. That would take his life a few years later. Loved this kid. The most I ever loved a non-white. And I can't say that for his girlfriend. I mean, I liked her. She was not a non-white. She was a white. And I said, a white makes a Wong here. I'm sure your dad agrees. She was smoking. Oh, my God. And she loved the cocaine. Yeah. I wonder what happened to her. I should Google her. So he looks at me. He looks at the pig snout. He knows I need coke. It's 9 a.m. I look exactly like a pig. Jen Aspinall was the makeup. She was a former SNL woman. She wanted to move to L.A. She was our makeup person. She was the best of all time. And I looked like a pig in a Hawaiian shirt, like I was one of the parrot guys at fucking, what's his name? Harry Carey's. We got to get to bed. Dan is overtired. Just stop nodding. Dan keeps nodding. I feel terrible. Dan is, but we got to do the podcast. The most important thing. So you got to. What were you doing today? Errands for me?
Yes.
I apologize.
I didn't do anything.
I apologize. I know Fran and Dan are fucking sleeping. Dan isn't sleeping. He's by the phone waiting for us to go. There's Ding Lang in the car.
No, Fran's going to the Preakness.
When?
He's leaving. He left, I think, today.
I guess what rhymes with Preakness? Weakness. Oh, fucking have my mortgage money. Oh, Fran, you lost your mortgage money. So anyway, he thought I was probably out. The joke I do is he thought I was probably at that Eyes Wide Shut party with the masks. What's the other password? Anyway, so Fran told me I'm losing $6,000 a month, and I can't sustain that, guys. Here's the problem. I went from making close to $500,000 a year to now I'm losing money, and it happened all of a sudden. This was the greatest thing ever. I want to say this. The Vinnie Monroys, the Monicas, Ryan Sharman,
Torelli,
Mr. Morris, the great Steve Torelli, even that old annoying guy, Stern fan clips, the spook who ruined the car, Gerald Rosser, biggest black fan, ended up getting into a bit of a tussle.
Meredith, that beautiful blonde in San Francisco.
May I say, I thought she was a fucking brunette.
What is she?
A lot of weirdos.
Not her though.
Mr. Mars, Vinnie Monroy. Again, all these great guys. and gals, one gal. I love them. I can't do it anymore, guys. I can't. I listen. I have a great life in the sense that when I stopped doing this, my accountant said, "Bravo, you're losing money." And he's an accountant. He's not an artist like me and Dan. And so my life is going to become: I shoot the second season of an HBO show that I just got a raise on. It's going to be easier to do that. Last summer, Danny and I were nuts. We did stand-up touring, this podcast, and crashing.
Right. And all the press you had to do for it, too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Where I closed. I had to follow Judd and Pete and Dave Attell. That's an easy night for a comic. And Rachel Feinstein. What's Rachel? Some of the broad. So I don't know. I can't sustain this. If you steal the podcast and are a real fan of me and Dan, even if you hate Dan, and or you're one of those guys I love, and you know a guy stealing it. You know, you got one more month. You got 3 weeks. Danny and I are going to go to 400 episodes. If in 3 weeks you can have a heart and say, I'll go for the quarter a day. I'm proud to say that people that like this show really fucking like it. They're passionate. And guys, the people left that are actually paying for it, when I say I love you on a level where if you see me out one day and I'm on the road homeless, and you can prove to me, not if I'm doing a gig, you can prove to me you were a guy still paying. I don't know how you do that, but there's nothing I won't do for you. If you tell me you're homeless, I'll buy a house. Honestly, I'll fuck your wife. Some people ask that. Oh, God. No. Your wife can fuck me with a strap on. No, there's nothing. I love you so much. But what do they say, Dan? What number? How many people do they think are stealing it? Listen to this. And they did research.
Yeah. And I didn't use the guy that we normally do just so I could get a very clear and independent.
Well, the guy's getting the shit on time. Oh, you're talking about this.
Yeah. So a guy put up a website in January for the first 3 weeks of January.
Find this guy, Mr. Morris.
And I paid a company like $250, and they said that
paid a company.
That he had 22,000 downloads in 3 weeks.
Loads.
22,000.
Why don't the loads hit him in the face? 22 in a week.
In like 2.5 weeks.
Okay, let's go conservative.
There was like 12 shows.
Okay, let's go conservative. We've done almost 400 shows. Let's say 20,000 people are stealing it. That's conservative, guys. I can't even. When I was making $500,000 a year, the numbers, I don't know. It's not a lot of people, but that's the beauty of this. I can give you a show. What did I promise you guys? What did I fucking promise you guys? If you give me like $8-9 grand, I'm making a lot of money. I just don't. Look, guys. If I break even, I'll do this. That's how much I love doing this. Dan loves doing it.
Yes.
Dan's got to go back to Chicago. There's not opportunities for him. He's 58. What, you going to the Brandmeier show? Accidentally, because says Ron Santos is coming up? Well, the Cubs have private jets. They don't speak English. Dan can't relate to them. Wrigley Field is filled with Steve Bartman haters. Dan is Steve Bartman, who never made that play. Now he's got. Do you realize how sad this is? It's so sad. This is so much fun. I can't. Look, I can do it even if we're breaking even. I can lose $100 a week. I can't hemorrhage $6 grand a month. I can't do it. So here's your mission. This website, fuck. This website, fucko. What? Think of Hitler and the Jews. That's how much I hate. Either side. Look, if you can help me out, if you know a guy stealing the podcast, hit him with a fungo bat. I'm kidding. But appeal to him and go, it's a quarter a day. And guys who are in their 30s, which is my demographic, not even black guys, white guys, who say, in fact, a quarter a day is too much. You're a fag. And I'm not even calling like gay people. Like fag, we used to use it. A guy who swings like a girl. In fact, a fruit. A pussy. A ne'er-do-well. A fuck breath. And if you're proud of it, like a lot of people are online, I hope you're happy with yourself. The funniest podcast that has ever been has to go off the air because of you. What's Mr. Mars going to do after he has sex with that beautiful white girl and his LA Dodger hat is dirty? What's he going to do? He tried in LA, couldn't come through. Ryan Charman. What the fuck is that pose I'm going to do? What is Rick from L.A.
Oh, that's the one.
Who named his kid after me. His kid is gorgeous. His kid's probably going to be like that kid who's at Homes all the time in Colors. He's looking like a young Mario Lopez. Only not... He'll never have to scrape cum out of his dimples. I say Mario Lopez scrapes cum out of his dimples. Who does that? Nobody. Yeah, I'm giving you that brand of comedy, that level of comedy.
Not Corolla, not Marin.
Corolla would never say that. Never say that. They're trying to be mainstream. Mark Maron's trying to... You know what Mark Maron wants to do? And I love him to death. He wants to go to the Kennedy Center on
Yes, he does. Yes.
and not as a presenter. Maron is one of the best, funniest guys. I'm goofing on him. But, look, I do a funnier show. But he gets Barack Obama, the other B.O. Bill O'Reilly and Barack, the two B.O.s. Bruce Springsteen. I heard Maron's introduction for Springsteen. Quite frankly, it was aloof. A little too NPR-ish for me. Terry Gross's anniversary show. Doesn't mention me. I gave her 2 best shows of all time. So did Harry Shearer. You think she has us back now? No. What a great last name she has. We're going to edit Terry out of that before we leave. She says, I'm Terry Gross. At the end of it, we're going to edit Terry. So after she says something like, I asked Jay-Z why he grabs his crotch. I'm gross. All right, that's the problem, guys. I'm going to let Dan go to bed. And we're going to come back. We got 9 more till 400, all right? 400 is the same amount of people that fit in Miss Vanderbilt's ballroom on Fifth Avenue in the 1800s. That's why society in Manhattan was 400 people. 400 people fit in her fucking ballroom. And you waited to get an invitation like I've been waiting for P. Diddy's white party. Howard went. Anyway. You had a shit in a porta john.
Oh, God.
Isn't that great? Tall Jew can't get in a black guy's house. I love the Jews and the blacks. And I say Mario Lopez scrapes cum out of his dimples. Nobody says that. Ellen dances. All right, guys. That's the news tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow, but 3 people on Twitter will be talking about it. They'll be talking about it a lot. If anybody listens to this, I know the people who listen are passionate and they love it. And I love you so much. And I love Dan. Who the fuck is going to do my towels?